What's going on, everybody? Gustav the 13th here with another video, this time looking at the Fafnir 650 General for both ground and space with no compatibility because this one is actually a transformable for the week of the 5th of September 2024. Surprisingly got this in the first 10 spin, but let's check this out. In terms of the weapons, right out of the gate, you can see you got a lot of shit going on. No shields, nothing like that, plenty of buffers and things, but 2 melee suit, which is already pretty cool. The secondary is a hyper beam saber. Keep that in mind right out of the gate because the regular ones, they seem almost kind of akin to the A1 steak sauce a little bit, but they are shorter. That neutral will not reach as well as this. So you got the beam rifle. A lot of this stuff on here, because it has those binders, is very good plant-like in terms of form and shape, but some parts of it also remind me not only just of the Overon, but a little bit of the Mark V to a certain extent. We have chest machine gun cannons. We have beam cannons on the shoulder, so you get another instant stun here. So you're talking instant stun here, another instant stun here. When you are untransformed, these are just a burst down, very fast, very good accumulation. When you are transformed, however, you do get these as a regular beam cannon, as well as this is chargeable, and you can get another stun like that, while also being able to dump out a bunch of missiles on the missile launcher. Going back though, we do have a missile launcher on the regular neutral form as well, and you can move while firing these. And for, you know, just good measure, it has its own version of the high mega cannon. No big deal. This one we're actually gonna see how it works together. But for what I've been seeing, people have just been, you know, popping a squat somewhere, hoping that they don't get noticed and just let it fly. Now, going into the stats and stuff, decently thick amount of health. Don't really have to throw a whole lot of stuff on it for that. You already got 24k out of the gate. Everything on this is very even keel, as you're seeing. So ballistic, beam, and melee resistance are 28, 28, and 23. The range strength and melee strength are actually exactly the same at 33 as well. And for movement speed, we have 140. Top speed is 220, and thruster gauge is 75, while turning speed is a crisp 69. That being said, even though it is pretty decent, if you like reacting and sweeping your melee, you might want to put a little bit more on there, because it's fast for some things, but not for a lot of things. You're gonna have to do a lot of readjustment through boosting if you really want to like turn yourself quickly. Anyway, slottage wise, we got close, medium, and long at 17, 15, and 16. Going down the list here for our skills, we have emergency evasion system 2, so you get 2 rolls, anti-blast stabilizer level 1, quick boost level 4, flight control program level 3, fall prevention system level 1, which is really nice. You can actually like kind of blast things down when you're coming out of your transformation. Interesting because if you notice, actually, where is it? Aerial melee system. So you can do the usual kind of like Angsha combo where you do a charge shot, move on, de-transform, do another stun as you fall closer, and then just do the melee on there. Keep in mind though, it's not these. Unlike some other suits that let you do both, or ones that use the primary, this actually uses the secondary for that aspect. So the hyper beam saber is what you're looking for if you want to do that aerial melee. Beyond that, we got Force Injector 2 and melee composite system. This is important because level 2 in and of itself, so it uses a melee attack or tackle to cancel hard landings after jumping or high speed movement. Allows for up to a 2 attack melee combo, but also damage is reduced during combo attacks. Reduces reaction when hit by a ranged attack during melee combat. So this composite system, especially at level 2, or specifically at level 2, gives you offensive system. So if you're wondering like, why am I not stunning this guy when I'm like hitting him from outside, and it's like there's no punish, it's because it's got this going on. So even though it doesn't have maneuver armor, it still has offense system rolled up in the melee composite system on top of a couple other things like fall prevention, Force Injector 2. It's got damage control level 2 as well, and of course when it's in transformation, it has shock dampeners, transformation optimizer. It has impact, or it should, but I don't think it has particularly. Yeah, it's just ram attack level 1. There's nothing super crazy about that. And of course the buffers are both at level 3. So the shoulders as well as the back binder have level 3 on here for 30%, and the leg buffer is for level 2 at 15%. Moving down, then we have 2 more skills here. Grimoire Blue. So it has its own get out of jail free and Grimoire, kind of like the Oberon does. This skill activates the first time when your unit's health is reduced to 50% or lower. While activated, temporarily decreases operation of enemies within a set range that are equipped with certain melee weapons and high-speed movement. So if you're boosting around, or if you have melee out and you're trying to do stuff, you will go super slow. It lasts for a hot minute. Upon activation, recovery time will be faster for 60 seconds when any weapon is reloaded or overheats. So your animations will speed up a little bit for when you're trying to recover from things, or if you burn out a bunch of your weapons, as well as everyone around you who is trying to melee or boost around in particular with their stuff out. You know, with their melee out is going to be very slow. Then we have Movable Shield Controller. This is, I guess, mostly because of the binders and stuff that it has. Reduces thruster consumption when starting or during high-speed movement. When continuously using Force Injector skill, thruster consumption will be reduced even further. Also reduces staggers when hit consecutively by attacks without suppressive effects during high-speed movement. So you have a certain form of maneuver armor when you're really pushing your Force Injectors running around because of the Movable Shield Controller, as well as damage control too, as well as being bailed out by the Grimoire, as well as the stuff going on when you're committing to melee for your composite system. And when you're in the air, you have fall prevention, which reduces reaction when hit by a ranged attack while jumping or falling. This effect will not apply when moving at high speed while in mid-air. You got a lot of outs in this suit. And on top of all that, as long as you don't get pinged in the middle of transforming, once you're in this, like you said, shock dampeners, transformation optimizer, damage control, all that really comes into play, especially because the back and sides are pretty much all you're presented. So you got big buffers on there for when you're doing that. That being said, let's also look at the enhancements. So we got +1 to range, +1 to melee modifier, +1 to thrusters. Conflicts expansion slot comes at the very end at 2480 for just a +1 to close, medium, and long. And the unlockable ones here are +5 to melee modifier for 4960 and +5 to range strength for 7440. So pretty expensive, but all of this is pretty offense tilted for the most part. And is there even... yeah, it's all just offense and movement with a little bit of slottage. That's it. There's no defensive bumps on this at all. And I guess that kind of makes sense when you consider the buffers and stuff that it has. But overall, pretty diverse, has a lot of stuff. I'll tell you right now, and you'll see it when we get into practice, the melee on this is really aggressive, which is really funny for the fact that it's also a melee priority 2 suit. Now it does have, like we said, offense system through the composite, but that doesn't mean that something like, say, the O or anything else that has priority 3 can't just come up to you and be like, and just hit you. So be careful. Usual crap. Thing to keep in mind, as always, these motherfuckers have damage control, so we should probably bully our little friend over here. I feel like he probably has it too, but definitely not as much if he even does. Yeah, let's disable destruction, and we'll get in here and pick on this guy, because I need to get a good angle. This is just a big burst. So on a normal suit, single burst on this, and it is energy based. I should probably move my noggin. Hello? Where am I? Scoot yourself, sir. There you go. Pretty solid stun there. Obviously, the dual cannons. We'll count out the missiles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 6 or 7 or so for the stun on that. And you can fire these while moving as well. A little bit wild depending on how much you're changing your scope and whatnot. Going into our Vulcans then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 or so for those. You got 38 or so to work with. And of course you can fire those while you're on the move as well. The downswings are pretty gross. Big chop, really aggressive leap. Way fast, right? Like, we're not talking perfect Gundam. Oh, let me do the big dramatic woo! No, this motherfucker just jumps at you. With a big ass... Look at how thick this stupid thing is. It's just coming here to thwack you. And it's got so much range on it. Now, that being the case, this is a Scooty suit. You do have to worry about your momentum. As you can see, this thing leads really hard to the right and does not come very hard to the left when it comes to the downswing on the big thing right here. We can try to finesse it and see if maybe that curl in helps a little bit. It doesn't really seem like it does unless we get like really close. Like right there it'll hit, right? And obviously if you're familiar with suits like the S Gundam, things that scoot, you can do your neutrals while you're scooting backwards and whatnot and still get some extra range. Be careful when doing that with your main melee, like I said, because it's not very reaching. There's no stab or anything. It's just one of those little like cross-choppy dealios that kind of just swings up. But not bad. Still can hit on the ground. Alright, we'll get into our high mega cannon here. Thankfully, we can charge it while we're on the move, yada yada. And then we let it loose and we see we can't move it. Much like the Double Zeta. Once you got it committed somewhere, that's it. You gotta make sure that you got it on target. Oh, and as you see there, it bringing it into the left. As long as we're kind of tucked in on them on our left, it will still hit, but that's a little bit more delayed in that regard. So it will do it, but you can't rely on it to do it on the far outside. You really do have to angle it in a little bit. Okay, so that's the long and short for most of this shit. Now we can talk about the transformation. Regular cannon here, stun there, a bunch of missile barf. One thing I want to try to check, and I don't know if I'm gonna get a good like lineup here. We'll see. I want to see if that charges, or not charges, but pierces, right? I don't think either of these necessarily pierces. And there's none of these. You gotta do 2 bursts for things with damage control, by the way. But yeah, none of these really. Ah, okay. So the charge shot actually doesn't pierce. So I want to make sure. Because this is just it's a little bit slow for the burst down. I kind of wish it fired as fast in that mode as it does in the neutral mode. So with all that though, very diverse. Obviously, like I said, you can do the usual like charge stun or just use the shoulder cannons, really. Just shoulder cannons into gun into downswing. So like let's try to get a better approach here. Maybe from here. That'll be fine. So he transform. Obviously, if you have a little bit more height, you can just do the air slash. I can just show you real quick. He transform. Can't do it with these, but you can do it with this. See, so Hyper Saber is your go-to for that. When it comes to the aerial downswing, showing off some of the output here, it can put up a little bit of damage. Obviously, your main gun's gonna make you see it visibly tick by a little bit better than everything else. I wouldn't really count on the high mega really doing a whole lot, but if you want to try to be cheeky, and if you think you have enough time before they can like plant or whatever, you can probably get, you know, just lay it into there. You get a little bit of damage off of it, but the time that it takes compared to all the other shit you could be cycling, not gonna do a lot. Obviously, if you're a little bit more conscious about your melee or your just output in general, you can put in a little bit for melee or range. For me, I normally just do a lot of movement boosts and or defense, depending. But I can see this being good for just committing to being more of a midliner until you have to really get in and start swinging on people. It's got good kit for it. That being said, you gotta do a little bit of work to really get a lot of damage out of this when it comes to doing stuff to the base. You also do get that increase in damage for the downswings here, but that setup's probably not super worth it. Like, I don't know if it's gonna visibly, like... Oh, you can see it chip off a little bit there, but yeah, you're mostly gonna be doing your blast downs, your rifles, maybe barter missiles at it or whatever, but not a lot. We did get a couple matches in here. My thing is that I'm a little bit more self-conscious about this thing when it comes to how it's going to be performing in clan matches, because clan matches are going to be 650 this week. We're going to be on Supply Depot, so a bit of a bigger map, a little bit more straightforward in terms of what we're going to be doing in terms of the mode. We have one on Arctic Base, and I think we have one on Mass Driver, depending on which one we pick. One's a little bit bigger, one's a little bit more close range. But whichever match that is, we're going to put that right around here.
Moving over to the battlefield.
Although I wouldn't have minded if they let both melee be available for the aerial.
Mobile suit team, prepare for launch.
That's whatever. Tendency switch, yeah.
Mission start.
It's got the same kind of Aksha-ish thing though, right? Like you can charge up with these, get a charge shot in. You know, unfold, hit him with the main, and then just go back and do the aerial. You just gotta remember which button your secondary is gonna be on, depending on how you normally map it. What are these guys doing? They're all over the place. What the hell? Oh, he stopped and grabbed A? What the fuck? Why? That's why they weren't here.
Minor damage detected. No impact on combat yet. An allied unit's been destroyed. I'm reading significant damage. Take defensive action. Your mobile suit is toast. Eject if you can. An ally wants
This downswing sucks ass, dude. Oh my lord. If they're not already on the ground, it fucking swerves on the right so hard.
An allied unit's been destroyed.
Oh, no, PC was over on either last week or the week before because they delayed it.
Long range supporting fire incoming.
Because I saw them making posts about it last week
All done.
for the
I
overrun.
think that supporting fire did much. Welcome back. Supporting fire incoming.
An
An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit. Minor damage detected. No impact on combat yet.
my lord, dude.
An allied unit's been destroyed.
Ooh, while boosting.
An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit. I'm reading significant.
Brother, can you stop staring at him and do something? Jesus Christ. I got fucking hands in the back of my noggin here.
An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit.
That was bad. That was not supposed to be a roll.
Your mobile suit is toast. Eject if you can.
Why did I go through his binder?
Your mobile suit has been destroyed. An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit.
Heavy AO. Yeah. Oh.
An ally wants you to group up. The enemy has captured a beacon. Welcome back. An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit. Minor damage detected. No impact on combat. An allied unit's been destroyed.
Everyone's on the outside.
An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit. I'm reading significant damage. Take defensive action. An ally... Your mobile suit... An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit.
Really? Just no attack on him at all? He just fucked off?
It's been destroyed. Your mobile suit has been destroyed. I know it's tough out there, but don't give up. An allied unit's been destroyed. Supporting fire incoming! An
Oh,
allied unit's been destroyed.
Mr. Zeta is the last one I want to hear fucking my god from. Shut up, dude. He's gonna go for bomb too.
Our base is under attack. The enemy has captured a... Welcome back. Minutes remain. Enemy mobile suit destroyed. Bases are now more valuable for this mission. A bomb was planted in the enemy base. Enemy mobile suit destroyed. Enemy mobile suit destroyed. Alert! A bomb's been placed in our base.
Oh my god.
An allied unit's been destroyed. An ally is defused. 1 minute remaining. Don't give up now. Supporting fire incoming. The enemy base was destroyed. Bomb defusal confirmed. An ally has destroyed an enemy mobile suit.
Oh.
Unit's been destroyed.
I mean, all you're doing is earning yourself another report, dude.
Destroyed an enemy mobile suit. An allied unit's been destroyed. Time has run out. Nice work out there. We won.
pain in the ass. Seems PC is 8. Norn, Banshee Norn, and the Master this week. Yep.
Hey, someone praised you. Here are this battle's rewards.
But without the ME, yeah. So, that was our run in the Fafnir. Not bad. I think in terms of 650, there's already so many choices, right? Like, we have auctions that are going to be running around. We got different versions of, like, the EXS as well as the S Gundam parades. You know, the Qdoga and the Shikikai are going to be picking at this thing a lot, even with all the resistances that it has. The Rairu Ra is here still. The fucking, Zeta 3A or whatever is going to be kicking around. Like, it's got a lot of competition. And not to say that it can't stand up to all that competition, but if it starts to peter out in terms of usage after the first week, I wouldn't be surprised, even though it is a 3-star suit. But it feels good. There's a lot of stuff to do on it. It's got a lot of movement. It's very persistent, and because it has so much optimization for its boost usage, I can see people getting used to this, especially if they just want a safer general version of the S Gundam at this cost that, you know, you have to sacrifice some priority, but you also have a lot of midline game and stuff, as well as your transformation to fuck around with, which is really fun. So, overall, I would recommend this. It seems like people have gotten it pretty easy, but as always, you know, do it within your own means. Be careful not to overspend. Especially because as we begin a new month, you already know we're probably going to get a 4-star or even a 5-star at this point. One way or the other at some point in the month. But that is our time in the new suit. Fenrir Nimrin. I'm actually very interested in another suit that is in the same line. I think it's the Demeter or something like that. Very fancy looking suit. Wouldn't mind seeing that kick around at some point. But Wild Purchase and all these other suits from this series are really cool. I'm kind of glad that they're still pulling from a lot of side series. And to be honest, until they really invite the Bullet and go F90 or F91 or whatever, that's all they really do have to work on. But like, that's still a big pool. Like, it's crazy to think about how much content they still have that they can go through. But that's enough yammering from me. This is Gustav the 13th signing off. Good luck if you actually run for this suit, and I'll talk to you guys next time.